Welcome to this dynamic yoga practice for your luteal phase. During the second half of the cycle, there's a range of inner chemistry that happens. So in the beginning of the luteal phase, you might still have energy in reserve. You might still be feeling a bit of that elevated hormone energy, and we can leverage that here. Towards the second half of the luteal phase, so as your period approaches, we're looking for more of a gentle practice. Energy levels dip. You might be feeling kind of a pull inward where you're wanting more alone time, more introspection. So this practice aims to meet you in both of those, that entire spectrum of the luteal phase, where if you have lots of energy, you can leverage that here. You can use it through this practice. If you're finding your energy dips, there's an entry point and there's a pathway in this practice for you to kind of really honor yourself and nourish yourself from the inside out. This is part of our self-love series. And in today's practice, we are working on receiving self-love. So through deep twists and forward bending postures, we are cultivating the key actions of receiving. So a lot of times with deep twisting, with forward bends, there can be a tendency to kind of force the shape from the outside in. So whether it's, hooking the elbows and really pushing to twist the spine, kind of cranking the spine, or using gravity and weight and force to bend more deeply than we are ready for in the forward bends in the spine. Instead, today we will create deep connection to the inner belly, the inner chest, the inner spine to facilitate that rotation and forward bending from the inside out so that you leave feeling very refreshed, very centered, very calm, as opposed to feeling maybe a bit overworked or a bit depleted at the end of the practice. For today, we are using a mat, and it can be handy to have a block. A lot of times it's a little bit easier to find alignment and lengthen the spine when you have a block to create that elevation. Don't sweat it if you don't have it. You can always adjust your alignment using body weight only. This is a long form practice. It is very gentle, so it's not a very activating practice. And with that, we can leverage this longer form practice to really move into the deeper levels of moving meditation and create more of that soothing that we are so needing in this time in the cycle in the luteal phase. So grab your mat, a towel and water if you like to have it, and let's get started with today's practice. Welcome to this vinyasa yoga practice for your luteal phase. As part of our self-love series, this practice is designed to move you into some deep twisting and forward bends such that you can receive the practice from the inside out. So it's all a part of our cultivating self-love inward. In this practice, we're moving through some very deep forward bending and twisting, and the key is to create those key actions from the inside. It's very easy to leverage deep twisting by creating a bind or by forcing the spine into a certain position. But instead, when you create that rotation or that forward bend from your innermost musculature, your innermost self, you can receive the twist in a different way. It feels like it is being done for you instead of to you. So that's kind of our intention for today. You can take it or leave it, let it infuse your practice if that feels right for you. We'll begin today at the top of the mat. Please join me here. And as always, just take a few moments to move your body, kind of wiggle, shimmy, shake. Let your spine lift up tall and create that awareness of your breath. In and out through the nose here. Maybe a sigh out the mouth, just letting anything go that might be sort of standing in your way. And then when you're ready, as you inhale, sweep the arms overhead, root down through the legs, reach up through the arms. And on the exhale, generous bend in the knees, fold. Shift the weight forward into the ball mounds of your feet. So our first forward bend here, just noticing how this feels in your body. What would your body be asking for? Would it be a deeper bend in the knees? Would it be a softening in the neck and shoulders?
How can you receive this forward bend? Then on your next inhale, halfway lift your spine, stretch from the sitting bones to the crown. And then deeply fold, exhale. Inhale, rise up, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands melt down through the heart. Again, like that, inhaling, reach, lengthen the sides of the waist. And as you exhale, fold over your legs, keeping that bend in the knees if you need it. On your inhale this time, lift halfway. Let your left fingertips stay planted. Begin to rotate from the low belly all the way into the heart as the right arm stretches skyward. Can you straighten the right leg, shift the weight forward into the balls of the feet. Bend the left knee deeply. As you do that, can you level the pelvis? Move the twist into the upper back, the back of the heart. And then slowly release, exhale. Let your right fingertips stay on the mat. And with your inhale, begin to rotate to the other side, bending the right knee deeply, straightening the left leg. And then allow the pelvis to be level, so drawing the right hip crease back in space. Feel that attention on the outer left leg. Left hand comes down. Relax in a forward bend for a few breaths here, just a moment or two. And as you inhale, halfway lift your spine, and exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, look up, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll enjoy one more half salutation here. Inhaling, reach up. And this time, cross your right leg over left. Clasp your left wrist with your right fingertips and lean up and over to the right. Root down evenly through both feet. Lengthen the left side waist. Keep the cross in the legs as you inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold. So slightly different sensation here. Now working the outer legs, the IT band. Maybe sway the hips side to side. Really spread all 10 toes. Feel the support of your feet. Soften the neck and shoulders. And then a gentle bend as you rise up. Reach the arms overhead, uncross the legs. And switching sides now, left foot crosses over right. Wrap your left fingertips around your right wrist and lean up and over to the left. Now expanding into the right side waist. And just allowing the neck to be a natural extension of the spine. So let the gaze be wherever it's most comfortable in your neck and shoulders. Come back up through center, release the hands, and as you exhale, fold over your legs. Now really feeling some awareness in the outer right leg, shifting slightly forward, side to side until you feel the attention that your legs need, kind of working into spaces that are hard to reach. And then slowly, gentle bend in the knees as you rise. Reach the arms overhead. Uncross the legs. And as you exhale, hands melt down through the heart. Just a breath or two here, allowing that initial wave of movement to settle, and just notice how your body feels. Then as you're ready, begin to step the feet together. We'll enter now our Sun Salutation B series. So we're creating some standing, more fluid movement before getting into some deeper seated forward bends and twists. So just preparing for that here in the luteal phase. It helps to know what is coming. With your next big inhale breath, chair pose. Sink the hips nice and low. Reach the arms overhead. Can you draw the hip points and the low ribs together? And really broaden across the heart. And again, it's always this iterative process. So as you sink the hips low, maybe the torso comes down. Can you lift the torso? When you do that, maybe the low ribs puff out. Can you then knit the hip points and low ribs together? And keep that going until you find your alignment. It's a way of tuning to your body. Big inhale breath. As you exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lift halfway.
As you exhale, step back into plank. Pause for the inhale breath. As you exhale, lower all the way to the belly. So we need not rush here. We'll have lots of opportunities to practice this vinyasa, this connecting vinyasa. So for our first one, let's just inhale baby cobra. Just exploring what that feels like here. Lower body's heavy. Exhale, release to the mat. Tuck the toes, keep your knees grounded. Inhale, come into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. So the first dropping into downward dog, just allow your body to move. And again, iterate until you find your most true alignment here. So wrap the inner upper arm bones forward toward your ears. Does that cause your shoulders to shrug? Can you soften the shoulders then down the back? Can you really press the shoulder blades onto the back of the heart? Then lift the heels a lot, bend the knees deeply so you get the extension in the spine first, so the sitting bones shine upward. And then slowly begin to maybe straighten the legs. And then the heels gravitate toward the earth. They become heavy, but don't worry if they don't touch. So we're prioritizing space in the spine and the shoulders in this posture. And the hamstrings stretch, the back of the legs stretch, kind of an added bonus. Start to step your feet together here. We're going to move into a skier dog, as it was one of my favorite teachers used to call it. So we'll lift the heels high, bend the knees deeply, and we'll simply lower one hip to the heels, twist the knees to the left, and then to the right. So the upper body stays in that single plane, and we're rotating the lower body. So it's just this sort of sensation that the navel center kind of connects upper and lower body, but they can move independently of each other. So here, rotating the hips side to side, creating some space in the ankle, some mobility there. And then as you're ready, coming back through downward dog. Pause for a breath. With your next inhale, stretch your right leg up and back. We begin our flow. On the exhale, right knee taps to the left elbow or the left upper arm. Can you coil through the belly? Twice more like that. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, cross your body. Really draw the belly in to create that space. Inhale. Last one like this. Exhale. Big inhale breath. Re-extend the leg. And this time as you exhale, step the right foot through between your hands. Find your strongest lunge here. So the right hip melts down towards the earth as the left thigh activates and gets buoyant. It floats upward. Right shin moves forward. Left heel stretches back. So you have these 4 movements creating the container of your lunge. Such a baseline position for this practice. Let your left hand stay planted. As you inhale, rotate the right arm up. So just adding some complexity to the twist now. Can you square the hips once again? Melt the right hip crease down. Notice if that closes your arm a bit. Can you reopen? Imagine sort of that energy from the innermost heart center, rotating the spine. So rather than kind of trying to do it from the hand into the spine, can you reverse the direction? So start the twist deep in the spine and then radiate out into the fingertips. Come back down. Both hands frame the right foot. Then we'll just start to rock back and forth. So on the back toes, the front heel, straighten that right leg any amount. And then roll forward into your lunge. Inhale. Exhale, straighten that leg. Just exploring now the back of the right leg, creating space there. As you straighten, can you energetically drag the right heel toward your right sitting bone? And that activates the hamstring so that we can keep it engaged as it stretches. Last few rounds of breath here. Come back through your lunge as you're ready. Inhale to plank. On the exhale, lower down. Maybe you hover in chaturanga. If you're sticking with cobra, lower to the belly. For upward dog, press into the hands. In upward dog, only the tops of the feet and the hands touching. So the thighs, hips are lifted. In both positions, the legs are active, stretching back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find your center here. And when you're ready, begin on the left side. Inhale. Exhale, left knee to right elbow, cross the body. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, cross. Inhale, big stretch here. And as you exhale, cross the body. And this time, as you come through center, step your left foot through between your hands. Find your deepest lunge here. So again, create those key actions. Left shin moving forward, right heel stretching back. Left hip moving down, right thigh buoyant and strong. Right hand stays planted. Keep the hips level and square as you inhale, rotate from the heart open. Draw the left hip crease back in space. And so sometimes if you get too focused on reaching the arm up, you can always bring your left hand to your heart and just move your heart into your hand. So that's the key of creating the twist from the inside out rather than trying to use the limbs to make the rotation in the spine happen. It's a different sensation. Let the left hand come down as you're ready. And then with an exhale, begin to straighten the left leg any amount, lifting the toes. Roll forward, inhale, find your lunge. And exhale, straighten any amount. A few more rounds like this, just creating some fluid motion in the legs as we sort of awaken the hamstrings. Last one here. And come back through your lunge. Inhale, step back into plank. So again, always your choice. Straight to downward dog, maybe lower to the belly. Maybe you express cobra or upward dog. Wherever you are, activate the legs, stretch them back. And we'll meet in downward dog. As you inhale, gaze forward between your hands, bend your knees, lift your heels. And then on the exhale, step your feet to your hands. Forward bend. Let the big toes touch. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Chair pose, inhale, sink the hips, reach the arms high. And as you exhale, rise to stand. Release your arms by your sides and take a breath. We'll begin our second wave now as you inhale, chair pose. Sink the hips low, reach the arms up. Same iterative process here, just feel the alignment in your spine. As you exhale, hands come to heart. Big inhale breath. As you exhale from the belly, begin to rotate to the right. So here, keep the hips pointing forward and just use that strength in the low belly to create the twist. You'll feel tons of activation here. The supporting muscles of the spine on fire. Big breath here. And then maybe start to expand the arms out to the side, reaching in opposite directions, using the belly so you really feel that engagement there as you twist. Let the hands return to the heart. Come through center. Exhale. Move to the second side now. Keep that deep bend in the knees. As you exhale, rotate to the left. So inflating the lungs with breath to make space in the torso. And then with every exhale, using the belly to twist a bit deeper. Maybe opening the arms to either side, expanding in both directions. Can you press your left knee into right to square the hips? Let the hands return to your heart. Slowly come out. Sink the hips a bit lower now. Enjoy an inhale here. And as you exhale, release hands to the earth, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, step back into plank. Either straight to downward dog here or moving through a vinyasa. Take the path that feels most appropriate for you. We'll connect in downward dog. As you inhale, lift onto the toes. Spin your toes to the right, heels to the left. Come onto the outer edge of left foot. Stack the shoulders, stack the hips. Just working a bit of core cultivation here as we continue to use that strong abdominal wall to create the twist. So reach your right arm overhead. On your exhale, tap knee to elbow. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Stay strong in that supporting arm. Really press through the finger pads. Last 3. Use your breath. Inhale. Nice and slow. Exhale. Take out the hard edges. Last one. Slowly coming back through side plank. We'll connect in downward dog for a breath to give your left arm, left shoulder a break. And then we'll switch sides here. So coming up onto the toes, spin toes to the left, heels to the right, stack shoulders, stack hips. Reach your left arm overhead. If you need to, you can always take this down on the knees, or you can come down onto the forearm of your supporting arm. Big breath in as you exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach. Exhale. So you can explore taking the knee more out in front or opening it out to the side. So really targeting just a slightly different sensation in the belly there. Last 3. Reach. And last one here. Come back through center. Bend and straighten, pedal out the feet. If you need to, you can come down on your knees for a moment in puppy. Just really take the weight out of the shoulders and the arms. And then when you're ready, joining back in downward dog, we'll take the right leg up and back. So crossing the body here. As you exhale, take your knee to the left elbow. Back up. Inhale. Exhale, knee to elbow. Cross the body and back up. This time as you exhale, cross the body, hold. Extend your right leg to the left. So creating kind of a deeper sensation in the outer right leg here. Flex the right foot. Draw the right hip crease back in space. Can you square the hips, strengthen the left leg, stretch the heart forward. The crown reaches forward. So just creating a bit of traction in the outer right leg here. Letting the lower body twist. So we're moving upper and lower independent of each other. Come back through center. So extend that leg back behind you. And this time step the right foot through between your hands. Slowly rise in crescent lunge. So you can keep a gentle bend in the back knee first if that feels good, and then begin to create your 4 key actions of lunge. Iterate here. So sinking down, lifting up, and then drawing hip points to low ribs, re-extending the heart. Big breath in. As you exhale, hands find the heart. Enjoy a breath here, really lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, twisting to the right. Squeeze the inner thighs to the midline. That'll help create your stable base of support. And then use the belly to rotate. So it's all that supporting musculature that we targeted with our side plank work here. And then maybe let the arms reach out. Stretch the fingertips in opposite directions. Squeeze the inner thighs once again. You got this. Let your hands touch your heart. Connect at your heart. You can stay here if this feels challenging, or if you like, begin to rotate. Let your left elbow hover to the outside of your right knee. So the tendency might be to want to just rest the elbow on the knee and use that external action to twist. But can you create your deepest twist first and then create the connection elbow to outer knee? Really press your left heel back in space. Wrap your left low ribs underneath you. And now a bit of work from the outside in. Press your top hand into the bottom to rotate the heart. As you're ready, gaze down at the earth. Slowly come up through your lunge. Exhale, hands touch down to the ground. Begin to slide your back foot in so that you shorten your stance quite a bit so that you can level the pelvis as that front leg straightens. So we're coming into pyramid pose. If you have a block, it can be handy just to create a bit of length in the spine so we're not rounding too much to create this shape. Press through the inner edges of both feet. Wrap the inner thighs back in space and then hug to the center. As you inhale, stretch your right hip crease back, and on the exhale, fold over your front leg, pyramid pose. So again, creating the actions from the inside here in the legs, and then allowing the torso to melt down so that you're really receiving the forward bend, these postures that are so healing and soothing for the nervous system. Last big breath here. And then as you exhale, begin to shift your weight forward. Lift up through the heart. We'll move into standing splits here. So just taking that left leg high, spreading the right toes, letting the hips stay square, just exploring the back of the standing leg. Shift the weight into the ball of the foot here. And then slowly let it touch back down. With your next inhale, come back into plank. And your choice here. Either moving through a vinyasa, sort of as a reset between sides, or connecting in downward dog. Finding downward dog as you enjoy a few breaths here. Can you feel the difference in the backs of the legs? Can you feel the difference in the sides of the waist? Where do you experience the work? And then as you're ready, inhale, left leg rises. On the exhale, cross your body, knee to opposite elbow. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, cross. Last one like this, inhale. And as you exhale, cross and hold. Extend your left leg to the right and really root down through the knife edge of left foot. Make sure that your right leg is square to the mat. And then can you stretch the heart forward? This might create some intense sensation in the left leg. So if you need to, you can always move it back or forward, wherever the sensation is most appropriate for you. Big breath here. And then slowly let that knee come in. Send the left leg up and back. And step the left foot through between your hands. Slowly rise in crescent lunge. So finding your deep, strong lunge here. And then letting the hips melt down as you bring hands to heart. Exhale. Stay for an inhale breath here. Square the hips, hug inner thighs to the center. With your next exhale, twisting now to the left. So allowing the hips to stay square. Use the muscles of the belly to rotate. Keep the shoulders soft, the gaze, the jaw relaxed. Then maybe you begin to open the arms, reaching fingertips in opposite directions. Can you knit the hip points to low ribs while keeping the heart elevated? Bring the hands back together, press through the palms. And then as you exhale, rotate even deeper. Bring the right elbow to hover to the outside of the left knee. Find that deepest twist first, and then allow the connection to happen. As you do that, can you lengthen from the right hip to the right armpit, revolving right low ribs underneath you, finding your deepest expression of the twist. Gaze down at the floor when you're ready. Inhale and exhale. Slowly unravel, let the arms reach up. Feel that work in the legs. And as you exhale, hands touch down. Slide your back foot in. Bring the back heel down, so all 10 toes facing forward, inner edges of the feet aligned. You can also be a bit wider if that feels better in your hips. Option for the block here, if you have it, to to lengthen the torso. So creating that really long spine that allows you to level the pelvis. So bringing the left hip crease back in space, big inhale breath. Then as you exhale, fold. Pyramid pose. Press the inner edges of both feet down and then wrap the inner thighs back in space so you're broadening the sacrum. Can you press through the front heel and energetically drag it back so you're magnetizing front heel to the ball of back foot? And as you inhale, stretch the spine forward. Begin to shift weight from the right foot to the left. Keep the hands for support. Reach the right leg high, standing splits. So make sure that you're in the ball of the left foot, that your left heel is light. That helps protect the insertion point of the hamstring. So we're really stretching the meaty part of the back of the leg. Stretch your right toes high. Relax the head and neck. And then slowly come down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, your choice, downward dog or chaturanga. With your next big breath, gaze forward, bend your knees, lift your heels. And on the exhale, step your feet to your hands, let the big toes touch. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, rise to stand. We have one final wave that we'll move through before entering kind of our more restorative, kind of gentle seated flow. So as you're ready, with the big toes touching, inhale, chair. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Just like we did in the lunge, keep your belly hugging in, and with your next big breath out, rotate. Let the left elbow hover to the outside of the right knee. Level your hips, draw both the left hip crease back and the right forward. As you find your deepest twist, then connect left elbow to right thigh. Let your shoulders melt away from the ears. Maybe send your gaze up. From here, once you have your deep integrated twist, you can start to press the top hand into the bottom. With your next breath in, come back through center, chair pose. And as you exhale, hands to heart. Prepare here with a big inhale breath. And then on your exhale, rotate to the left. Square the hips, squeeze the inner knees together. Let the right elbow hover outside the knee first. Deepen the twist using the belly, and then create the connection. Let both hip creases melt back and down. And from that integrated place, then begin to press the top hand into the bottom. Move the rotation into the back of the heart, maybe into the cervical spine. Gazing up. Slowly come out as you're ready. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step back into plank. Pause for the inhale breath. And then we'll move through either straight to downward dog or through your flow. Downward dog here, just pedal out the feet. And then as you're ready, inhale, stretch right leg up and back. Cross the body here, exhale, knee to opposite elbow. Shoulders stay square. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, cross. Last one, reach up. As you exhale, cross and hold. Extend your right leg to the left. Find that shape first with both hands on the earth. And then come onto the ball of your back foot. Rotate to the inner edge. Begin to spin the left arm open. Fall in triangle here. Can you lift the hips skyward by pressing into the knife edge of right foot? And then lift the heart. Rotate open. Slowly come out as you're ready. Come onto the ball of back foot. Hug the right knee in. And send it back. Extend. And slowly step the right foot through between the hands. Slide your back foot in for pyramid pose. So inner edges of the feet aligned. Wrap the inner thighs back in space. This is where it can be very handy to have a block, if you have one, for your left hand. Start to bring your right hand to your sacrum, so that flat bone at the base of the spine. And then just create the length in the spine here first. With the hand on the sacrum, or you can bring right hand to heart, begin to rotate the right shoulder open. So without pushing on the left hand too much, just use the belly first to create that rotation. Slightly lower there. And then once you feel you're integrated, so you feel the belly working to create the rotation, then you can start to reach the right arm up. Maybe give a gentle press into the left hand. Hug your inner thighs to the midline. Wrap them back in space to broaden the sacrum. This is revolve triangle, so notice the hips are going to want to twist, but your upper body can rotate on its own. It's free to move. Last big breath. And then bring your right hand to your right hip. Gaze down at your right foot, bend into the right knee. If you have your block, you can shift it forward. And then transfer the weight from the left foot to the right. Find your square hips first. And then from here, you can begin to rotate open once again. Keep the left hip high, so it's going to want to dip down. Keep it elevated. And then maybe rotate the right arm open. Revolved half moon. So much strength happening here. Last big breath. And then as you exhale, right hand touches down. Slowly lower left toes to the earth. Inhale, plank. Exhale, flow through. So really expanding on the back bend, whether cobra or upward dog. Using that as a bit of a counter pose to these deep forward bends and twists. Last time on this side, as you're ready, inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, cross your body, knee to opposite elbow. Inhale, reach up. So here you're creating that key action in the belly to create strength and that stable foundation for the twist. This time hold. Extend your left leg to the right. Square the hips first, and then begin to rotate onto the inner edge of back foot. Spin your right arm towards the sky, fallen triangle. Really root down through the knife edge of that left foot. You can even kind of bend and straighten until you feel that expression in the spine and both sides of the waist. Last big breath. And slowly come out. Send your left leg up and back. Just kind of release any of that sensation there. And step your left foot through between your hands. Slide your right foot in, shorten your stance, both feet flat on the mat. You can bring your block here to the inside of your foot if you like. And then as you square the hips, take your left hand to your sacrum. So notice when the hip points are level and even. So that means the left hip crease dials back in space, and your right hip might want to dip. Can you keep it lifting? From the low belly, begin to rotate the torso only. So can you keep your legs so still, so strong? Lengthen from the sitting bones all the way to the crown. So as much length from hip points to armpits as you can. And then maybe begin to open the left arm towards the sky. Once you have that integrated twist, then press into the right hand to move more deeply. Free the neck by gazing down first, and then rotating the chin up and around. As you're ready, bring your left hand to your left hip. Gaze down at your left foot. You can shift your block if you need to. And begin to transfer weight from the right foot to the left. Find that warrior 3 shape first, where the left hip crease really dialing back. Try not to let the right hip pop open. You can stay here, or once again, move the heart independent. So let it be free to rotate here. The legs stay strong and stable.
the belly working. Last big breath here. Lengthen the right leg. And slowly left fingertips touch down. Release the right toes to the mat. Inhale, plank. Exhale, flow through. And we'll connect in downward facing dog. And let the knees touch down. Find puppy pose. Stretch the arms out in front of you. And just allow the spine to lengthen here. So kind of a counter to all of the forward bending. Can you create some extension in the spine? Slowly start to come up. Cross at the ankles so that you can transition onto a seat. So again, if you have your block handy, you might want to bring it close by in case you need it for our forward bending practice. So we're shifting now to our grounding postures. Let your left leg extend long. Hug your right knee into your chest. So keep the right foot planted on the mat here. And as you inhale, reach the arms high. Shift onto the front of your sitting bones so you can feel that bony sensation. And then as you exhale, fold. Let your right shoulder come to the inside of right knee. And here, let your spine reach forward. So keep it long first. And then once you find kind of the extent of your range of motion, then you can begin to sort of curl inward, drawing the chin to chest. Really broadening the back of the heart, giving it some love now. And if you have your block, you can always bring it to the inside so that you can rest your forehead. Let this become more of a posture of receiving with less effort. Just resting here. Deepen your breath a bit. You can sort of hear those waves of sound as they echo between your body and the mat. And then begin to come back up and just notice, even from that forward bend, kind of the cooling, calming sensation that comes over the body. Move into a twist now, so you can keep your foot as it is. If it feels better, you can cross the foot to the outside of left knee. Wherever you are, lift the spine up tall. Let your right fingertips come behind you, create that support. Left arm stretches overhead. On the exhale, wrap your left arm around your right thigh. So you can keep this embrace here if you like. You can bring the elbow to the outside, but really just allowing the twist to be a gentle one that you can just open to. So there's not too much external force. You might send your gaze over your right shoulder. Let that right shoulder soften down. And use your right thigh to massage the belly to improve circulation to the vital organs, to your digestive system. And then we'll slowly release the twist. Let your right knee splay open and then turn to face the long edge of your mat. Let your left fingertips, so I'll be opposite you in movement here, but let your left fingertips stretch out. Reach your right arm up and over, side bend. Can you heavy the right hip crease? Maybe even use your left hand to press it down as you open the side waist. So nice counter pose as we really worked on contracting and creating strength in the belly. Now we're opening and inviting space. Come up through center. Extend both legs out wide, and this might be a lot of sensation. So if you need to bend your knees, that's totally fine. Take your hands, one in front, one behind. Lift the pelvis and tilt it forward so that you're on the very tip of your sitting bones. Let the toes face upward, flexing the feet. And here's where I love to have a block so that you can really create this restorative forward bend. So as you're ready, just lengthening the spine, walking the hands forward. Bring your forehead to your block if you have it. If you don't have a block, you can always rest your head on your hands.
And again, just explore where you can let go. Where is your body holding or gripping? Are your inner thighs tense? Any muscles in the groin that are holding? Maybe in the shoulders, the neck. And as you stay in the pose a bit longer, you can lower the block, come deeper, and just find each stage where you can relax into the forward bend, where there's no strain. So feel that invitation, drawing your awareness, your attention inward. By nature, forward bends are introspective. It's a perfect time in the luteal phase to take time for yourself, to be in this action of giving and receiving self-love. So how can you be both the one who is offering and the one who is accepting right here in this practice? And then slowly begin to come out. And we'll reverse the direction to explore the second side. So the left knee bends, left foot comes in. Right fingertips crawl out to the right. Left arm stretches up and over, side bend. So expand the breath into the rib cage, really inflate the lungs. And coming out as you're ready, we'll turn now to face the other side of your mat. Hug the knee into the chest here. We'll find that forward bend once again. So reaching the arms skyward and then folding over your right leg. If you need to, you can bend the right knee any amount. Give a gentle embrace with your left knee into left shoulder. And again, just lengthening the spine as far as you can first, and then allowing the back of the heart to broaden as you bring the chin toward the chest and round in. And coming up when you're ready. Moving into the twist now. So leveling the hips, coming onto the tips of the sitting bones, right arm reaches. Left hand behind as you exhale, wrap that right arm around. Find your twist here, that massage. You might gaze over your left shoulder. You might even find it feels good to close the eyes. As we really drop into a more meditative space. Gradually releasing the twist when you're ready. Let both feet extend long. Bend your knees very deeply. So our first trip to a seated forward bend, we'll tilt the pelvis forward and cross the hands so you're reaching for opposite feet, so the outer edges of opposite feet. Spread the toes. And then as you exhale, round into the upper back. Press your feet into your hands into your feet. So really stretching the back of the heart here. Just for a breath or two, maybe pedal out the feet, alternating sides. Feel that in the shoulder blades. And then release the clasp. Bring your block between your shins or between your knees. And just allow your body to fold forward wherever it feels most natural. So you might have a deep bend in the knees. The legs might be moving in the direction of straight. Wherever you are, just relax into this forward bend. So if you ever feel sort of that heightened state of arousal or overwhelm, maybe you're tending toward anxiety, just give this pose a try.
particularly with the block, adding pressure to the third eye, the forehead. It's sort of like hitting the soothe button. It calms the nervous system, slows your breath, allows you to move inward. And coming out nice and slow here. You can set your block off to the side. And we'll have one final twist here before we enter our resting posture. So let your knees point to the left and then come onto the outer right hip. Square your torso to the mat. You might come straight down here, or you might bring your left ear to the mat. So I'll bring right ear just so that it doesn't disrupt the sound on the microphone. But if you can, bring your left ear to the mat for a full twist. If that's too much in the neck and shoulders, you can always bring the right ear to the mat and just allow the shoulders kind of to square to the earth. Letting the arms find a cactus shape, just pressing with palms down. This is a downward facing twist. It really leverages the support of the floor, the pull of gravity to shift you into receiving mode so you're not having to work at all. Enjoy a few more very deep breaths here. Just finding more space between thoughts, more space between breaths. Notice if your mind tends to wander now that we're getting ready to close our practice. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Slowly press up. And just pivot here. Let the knees move to the right. Let your left hip come down. And then here, once again, lowering the torso. If it feels good, right ear to the mat, or you can bring left ear to the mat. Just letting the body be heavy here. Doing this final twist of our practice. And allowing your attention to scan. Really receiving any sensations you feel in the body. Acknowledging how this practice has served you. Slowly begin to take your hands under your shoulders. You can stay as long as you like, but when you're ready, coming out of the twist, we'll enjoy a belly down rest here, just to further ground the energy and really just kind of float in that space of calm, of inward movement. Feel the support of the ground underneath you, that gentle pressure on the belly, the chest. The bit of resistance and effort that is required to breathe. In this time in the cycle when energy tends to dip, this practice of forward bending and twisting can be very centering. So it allows us to unlock some of that inner energy source without overdoing it, without shifting into depletion. I hope that you will stay in this resting posture as long as your body needs, as long as your mind allows. And if and only if you're ready, you might join me in the journey back up to a seat. Very slowly, like moving through water as you come out.
Transitioning here from your practice to the rest of your day, just acknowledge how you're feeling, what you need. So this practice of receiving really allows us to listen and consider what the body's asking for, what the mind, what the heart are asking for. So whether that be self-care, a bit of alone time, more rest, I hope that you'll hear that and honor your body, celebrate yourself for practicing today. And I want to thank you so much for joining me, for showing up, and for letting your body be moved.